Perfect. Perfect. made possible through the support of our generous sponsors. The Talk of Paynesville, a Paynesville Area Community Education production in association with the Paynesville Area Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Talk of Paynesville, our community live stream talk show. I'm Jacob Bertram.
And I'm Faith DeCousin. Thank you for joining us live today. We are glad you are watching. Please enter your questions in the comment section below at any time during this broadcast, and we will try to get them into the show. Jacob, did you know that today is National Radio Day and Pecan Pie Day?
I did not know that. Good thing we have the pecans out there. I like pecan pie. Do you like it? Not really. Oh, you like listening to the radio? Kinda, maybe. Well, there we go. Well, folks, we have a great show in store for you. As always, our in-studio guest is Mr. Max Meagher, the Paynesville Area Schools Activities Director, and he'll be talking about Bulldog Athletics, in particular the changes this fall. We also have our special Centracare segment, local trivia contest, the joke of the week, chamber member spotlight, inspirational quote of the day, and your Meagher Wealth Management Money Minute.
Now for our local news. The Paynesville Area Center will be holding their annual Grandma's Attic sale on Saturday, August 22nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free will offering on sale items. This year, they will be selling fry bread and Indian tacos to help raise money for the Area Center and Road Center. I don't know about you, but I sure missed the fry bread stand with No Town of Country Days.
Yes, I did too, and definitely got to swing by there this Saturday to load up on some fried bread. And now, folks, results from the 2020 primary election. Longtime Congressman Colin Peterson will face GOP challenger and Paynesville resident Michelle Fischbach for the 7th Congressional District, which stretches from the Canadian border to just about Iowa on the November ballot. Fischbach beat 4 other Republicans in the primary. Peterson has been serving in Congress for over 30 years. Last Tuesday was the last day to file for a city council and mayor race this fall. The individuals running for the 2 open council seats are Megan Brick, Bill Fuchs, Jean Soiney, Jerome Feigem, and Teresa Hacklander. The race for mayor includes Alicia LeBeau, Kenneth L. Olson III, and Sean Rinke. Also, filings from the Paynesville School Board are all 3 incumbents running unopposed: Bruce Vanderpool, Cheryl Velkamp, and Rick Kane. You can request your absentee ballot on the Minnesota Secretary of State website or vote in person for the November 3rd election. Good luck to all the candidates.
Now what you've all been waiting for, the weekly Paynesville trivia question.
The trivia question for this week. We go back into Bulldog Athletics. Question is, who holds a record for the most receiving yards in one Paynesville football game? Was it A, Tyler Walters, B, Brandon Schlaper, C, Nick Dingman, or D, Levi Bast? Enter your answers in the comment section below. You might be our lucky winner today. The answer will be revealed later in the show. Good luck to everyone. We'll be right back after this. Meagher Wealth Management has offices located in Paynesville and in Willmar, and is a comprehensive wealth management, investment, and insurance firm. As your trusted advisors, we are wholly dedicated to helping you reach a higher purpose for your wealth and design a lasting legacy for your family. We leverage deep industry knowledge, a vast network of specialized services, proven investment strategies, and a passion for serving you. Let Meagher Wealth Management help you live your life by design, not by default.
When everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life. At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we've streamlined our financial tools to ensure you have everything you need all under one roof. Whether you're starting a family, starting a business, or buying a home, CMCU is here to be a trusted financial partner. CMCU offers free checking options and a network of financial experts. Because when everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life.
Let's send it over to Jacob in our Brick House studio. He He is with the Paynesville Area Schools Activities Director, Max Meagher now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Max Meagher, Athletic Director and Bulldog football coach, Dean of Students, and of course the lunchroom supervisor. Max, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Jacob.
Well, thanks for coming in. So we had some news from the Minnesota State High School League last week about the sports this fall. You want to give us an update on what their plans are?
Yeah, so the State High School League has opted to move the volleyball and football seasons to the spring with a TBD start time, so we really don't know when those seasons are actually going to take place. And then they chose to stay with the cross-country season this fall, except for they made some modifications, decreased the number of contests that they're allowed, as well as the number of teams that are allowed at each contest. And so pretty much a lot of things got thrown up in the air sort of right at the last minute for us.
Is that going to be the same for the middle school sports as well?
Well, the State High School League and their board of directors meeting, the executive director, Eric Mertens, explicitly said that the State High School League doesn't govern the seasons for junior high sports. And so we would have had the option to continue with volleyball and football. However, we had a hard time finding opponents that were doing the same thing in area schools. Predominantly, our conference schools have chosen to offer junior high baseball and softball this fall and move football and volleyball to the spring as well. So we've made the transition for that to give the best opportunity for our student athletes. If we would have kept junior high volleyball and junior high football in the fall, we would have had a really hard time finding area schools to play baseball and softball with, potentially in the spring as well. So there's just a lot of moving pieces to that. So our hope or plan right now with the schedules still in process, I'm hoping to finalize some of that stuff as early as today, but to start junior high baseball and softball on September 14th.
Well, folks at home don't follow you on Twitter. What are your kind of thoughts on this fall season moving to spring and the whole overall scheme of things?
Well, I think some of the most difficult things for us is, number one, decisions that were made kind of at the last minute. We find out that the board of directors had a workshop session the day before their meeting, which I believe the workshop was August 3rd and their meeting was August 4th, and our all of our schools and anybody who was following decision making for the fall sports knew that, and that was advertised, and it was well ahead of time. And then in between the workshop of August 3rd and August 4th, they get a call from the Department of Health, essentially giving them guidance to shut some things down. And the question is what changed from previously. Literally the night before, our volleyball team was hosting a scrimmage with some other teams completely within the guidelines of the Department of Health, following all the procedures and protocols for safety, and then all of a sudden things change overnight, and we don't really have any reason why other than that's just the decision they made. And then, of course, for our student athletes looking across state borders, you have in North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Wisconsin continuing on with football and volleyball, and Minnesota not. And so some of those just natural questions that come up, and then the lack of real data or decision-making process. And so, the State High School League did last week address some of that, and ultimately there's just so many unknowns. They're making decisions and they don't know, and Eric Mertens even says, we don't know even if they're the right decisions, but we have to make decisions, and and so that's difficult. And I do think that it's easy always on the outside to question the decisions that other people are making when you're sitting in the position that you have to make those decisions. They have very difficult decisions to make too. So in the end, those decisions have been made, and then we just have to do what's best to move forward for our kids and for our community here.
And I believe there was a survey sent home to the parents of athletes, talking about if they're going to be feel safe coming back for fall sports, or was that just school survey?
Yeah, I don't think that had a lot to do with extracurricular activities or Paynesville offering those as much as returning back to school. The State High School League did asked the schools, member schools, to send out surveys to families last spring as far as the effects of the mental health on the student athletes who saw their spring seasons canceled. We still haven't gotten the data back from that as far as what the exact responses were. We have seen kind of summaries of those, and so it's important to note that the extracurriculars is an extension of the classroom and is a formative experience for student athletes to learn a lot of valuable skills, and so we're still trying to offer that to the best of our ability and recognize that students need those experiences to grow and to develop emotionally and physically, and just from a community standpoint, to learn how to interact with people, to disagree, to work as a team. There's so many things that are so valuable for our kids that we need to try to provide.
Speaking about the kids now and the athletes, I believe would have been this Monday or last Monday would have been your first practice for fall. So how are the athletes taking the news?
Well, I think I haven't spoken directly as far as asking them individually what the message was received with some disappointment, which is understood, right? When you invest that much time, like I said, our volleyball players were literally scrimmaging the night before getting the news. In football, we had been having our summer strength training program and been doing that and really without issue, and had some 7-on-7 stuff with some other schools. Traditionally, Jacob, we don't have handout equipment in the summer and do full contact practices. Those are allowed. There's a number of schools like Rocorian, Alexandria, Wilmer, even smaller schools, Litchfield, some of those that had equipment and scrimmaged other towns in the summertime, which was allowed and really didn't have any issues from a disease transmission standpoint. However, now all of a sudden those aren't allowed. So like I said earlier, you have kids that are just kind of questioning, and ones that are multi-sport athletes saw the spring seasons get canceled on them, and now we're in kind of that same boat as well for the fall.
Right, and talking about the fourth season, is that something you want to tell our viewers? Do you have anything else to say about that?
Yeah, so it's been really a domino effect. We have gotten no guidance or no information on what winter sports are going to look like. The only thing that we can guess, and I don't really want to speculate, but they're probably going to have some adjustments to them, because we've saw any of the high school league fall sports that are continuing with swimming, tennis, soccer, cross country. They've reduced the number of competitions, reduced the number of teams that are allowed at those. So, we can speculate that type of thing would happen for winter if those events do go on. So that season's probably going to get bumped. And then what they did by moving volleyball and football into the spring is they essentially, like you said, created a fourth season. And now the spring seasons have been bumped back to a potential mid-May start time, so that there isn't the conflict of student athletes that would have been in track or baseball or softball and volleyball or any of that, and football having to make a decision as to what sport they were going to play. So they've essentially shortened down all of the seasons and created an extra season in an unknown time, maybe mid-month. We don't even know when those seasons will start. But.
And I did see that you're still going to be able to have practices for the fall sports. Is that kind of the schedule for that kind of laid out already?
Yeah, like for football, we just met yesterday as a staff to determine what we're going to do. And yesterday morning, the guidelines for how we can operate within those practices were sent out from the State High School League. So it really is just a work in progress. But volleyball and football are allowed a practice-only season, no competitions or scrimmages or any of that. And we're allowed to have up to 12 practices within a September 14th to October 3rd window. Spring sports, baseball, softball, track and field, and golf that were canceled last spring are then allowed a practice season under the same guidelines from, I believe it's October 5th to whatever a 3-week window is. Right there is maybe the 17th or something like that. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but we have a 3-week window to have 12 practices for football and volleyball, and then it's followed by a 3-week window for the practices for the spring sports. And the rationale for the State High School League was to try to keep the athletes connected to their coaches and allow for those opportunities for coaches to have an impact on student athletes during that time. And so that's what we're operating under.
So I'm going to switch gears now. So take off your athletic director hat and put on your coaching hat. What do you like best about being a coach and the experiences that you learned through that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, without a doubt, I was sending messages out on Monday. We were supposed to start practice, and, I love the game of football and the strategy and the nuances of trying to develop a program and game planning and all of that kind of stuff is, certainly important. But what I missed the most on Monday morning when we didn't go out there was the players and the coaches and just the relationships that you have to develop. And then, like I mentioned earlier about, disagreeing, I think one of the more difficult things in the world to do is do something together. Like, let's go do this. Like, if it's just an individual decision or somebody can go do something, it's kind of up to them and on their shoulders. But when you have to do something together, it takes all these other unknowns and missing parts. And I think, without a doubt, the relationships and just the chance to try to accomplish something with a group of like-minded people is what I enjoy the most.
And what do you like best about being in Paynesville, be able to work in the Paynesville School District?
Oh, the people's same, right? I think that what Paynesville has to offer is a lot of people that are extremely supportive of the school and supportive of the activities department. You think of, think of a Friday night and all the people that come out, and you look what the community has done in support of the school with the big project that's going on right now from a building standpoint, and all the new things for the CTE programs and the community center that's being built and the baseball stadium, and we have some plans for a softball complex coming up. And so just the amount of people, you think, and certainly there's a lot of really important entities in Paynesville, but the school is kind of the hub of a lot of things that are going on, and the community really gets behind the school. And so that's what makes it fun. You get to see people out in the community and then interact with them through school programs.
So real quick here, we'll talk about the new community center. What are you looking forward to?
I think just the increase of activities. You look at the amount of square footage that we're going to be able to have for programs to be able to do things that they haven't been able to do before. Gymnastics being able to come back on campus, wrestling to have a wrestling room that's of adequate space and not in that L shape, with kids wrestling up against the wall, and then all the courts for volleyball and basketball. And not to mention the community things that will be able to be done in there, like tennis and just the pickleball and badminton activities and things. It was really exciting to see them start to do the work out there, and I'm super excited to see what the finished product looks like and how our community gets creative in using it. One thing I think our community ed program has done an extremely good job of with, Matt Dickhausen is very creative in finding ways to do things with what we have. And so that there's going to be programs that don't exist right now that will exist because of that facility, which is obviously a benefit to all ages in our community from, birth to grave.
All right. Well, folks, you heard it here. Max Meagher, a local expert, athletic director at Paynesville Schools. Thank you, Max, for coming in today. And take care during this fall season. I don't know what you're going to do with all this free time now. Do you have any plans?
Well, Jacob, every year at our banquet for football, it might sound like it's a joke, but I say, literally I don't have any hobbies, and it's become abundantly clear on August 17th that I don't have any hobbies, right? So, maybe I'll just read an extra book or two or whatever. I joked around about, blowing the whistle at home and making sure my kids are jogging from, lunch to back to the couch or wherever, no walking around and hustling. But yeah, it's certainly going to be different, and I think sometimes you just have to make the most of the opportunities that you have, because it's not going to change it, but how we react to it and what we do is what's going to define us going forward.
Absolutely right. Well, thanks, Max, for coming in, and we'll send it back to you. Meagher Wealth Management has offices located in Paynesville and Wilmer, and is a comprehensive wealth management, investment, and insurance firm. As your trusted advisors, we are wholly dedicated to helping you reach a higher purpose for your wealth and design a lasting legacy for your family. We leverage deep industry knowledge, a vast network of specialized services, proven investment strategies, and a passion for serving you. Let Meagher Wealth Management help you live your life by design, not by default.
When everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life. At Central Minnesota Credit Union, we've streamlined our financial tools to ensure you have everything you need all under one roof. Whether you're starting a family, starting a business, or buying a home, CMCU is here to be a trusted financial partner. CMCU offers free checking options and a network of financial experts. Because when everything is in one place, it's easier to stay focused on your own life.
Now for our health, well-being, and you segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Jennifer Clocker from the Paynesville Centracare. She's a pharmacist there. Welcome, Jennifer.
Awesome. Thanks for having me this morning. My name is Jen Clocker. I am one of 4 pharmacists that work at Centracare in Paynesville. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about and explain my service area and talk about one of the areas within my service area that I'm really passionate about. So the pharmacist at Centracare in Paynesville, we work to service a lot of different areas within the facility. We service the hospital, and we service specialty clinic and the long-term care, and we also service the clinic. Within the clinic, we help with anticoagulation management, diabetes education, diabetes management, and other disease state-specific management. But one other thing that we do that's a little bit all-encompassing is medication therapy management, or MTM. And that's what I'd like to talk a little bit more about today. So, medication therapy management, or MTM, which we call it, it is a service where we meet face-to-face, one-on-one with our patients. We do that 2 ways. Face-to-face in the clinic works best usually because people can bring their medication bottles with them so we can see what they're talking about. With the COVID, we are able to accommodate telephone MTM visits as well the best we can. They're not quite as effective as in-person visits. When patients come in, the first thing we do is we take a full medication history. So we include all their prescription medications, their over-the-counter products, herbals, and anything else, inhalers, injectables, things like that. So it's all inclusive. And we go through that list then to try and optimize their current regimen and find any drug therapy or medication therapy problems. So on average, our statistics are pretty in line and pretty consistent with national statistics. On average, our patients have about 12 medications that we're looking at, and on average, we're finding approximately 2 medication therapy problems per patient. So these problems we group into kind of 4 different buckets of problems. So we evaluate them for appropriate indication and effectiveness. So we want to make sure that you're paying for these medications, you're going to the work to take these medications. We want to make sure that they are doing the job they're supposed to be doing. And the second thing we look at is safety. So are they causing any side effects? Are there drug interactions with prescription meds or prescription medications with over-the-counter products? And if the patients have any specific concerns there. And lastly, one of the probably most common problems we're running into frequently, cost of medications. So you might be on an appropriate medicine, but if it's not affordable for the patient, can we help and find a more affordable option that would still be therapeutic for that condition? Is the patient able to take their medicine? So is it appropriate dosage form? Can they swallow the pill? Is the pill too big? Does it need to be in a liquid? Things like that, and making sure that we're trying to be consistent with the patient's formulary options to make it the most affordable for them. So we go through that and we try and solve these problems. We work as part of the team with the providers in Paynesville. So a lot of things we can easily solve, or we can, we're right there as a team with the providers, so we can help get the problem solved in a very timely fashion.
So who can participate in the MTM program?
Yeah, great question. So anyone can participate in the program. Mostly we are seeing patients with kind of a lot of medications, or people that have questions, concerns, or if they have individual specific problems like cost, or they think they're having side effects, things like that. But anybody can participate. The MTM, or medication therapy management, is covered by most insurance plans. So that's something they can look further into their insurance, but the majority of common insurance companies do cover MTM services.
So Jennifer, what is the most rewarding aspect of your work?
So I really enjoy optimizing people's medication regimen and helping them feel knowledgeable and empowered with their current medication regimen, so that they're not feeling overwhelmed.
All right. Well, thanks, Jennifer, for coming in today. This is Jennifer from Centracare Paynesville. She's a pharmacist there. And that's our segment for today.
We now want to welcome Mr. Rick Wurst for this episode of Your Money Minute.
Hello, I am Rick Wurst, the Wealth Advisor with Meagher Wealth Management. One of the topics that our clients come in to talk to us about quite frequently is saving for retirement. There are many retirement vehicles out there that a person can use to save for retirement. One of the most common that they will use is through their employer's retirement plan, whether it be a 401k, a 403b, something like that. There are other retirement plans out there too that people have a tendency to forget about when they are using their employer's retirement plans. Individual retirement accounts, or IRAs, are very common. There are several different ones out there, but the two most common are the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA. The traditional IRA is funded with retirement monies that are pre-tax. You're getting a tax benefit for it now, and as it grows and you take the money out in retirement, you pay taxes on it at that time. The Roth IRA is just the opposite. It's using after-tax dollars to fund it now, and it grows up through retirement, and as you start taking the money out, you do not pay any tax on any of the monies that you're taking. The limit for the 2020 IRA contribution is $6,000. There's a $1,000 catch-up balance, or a contribution, that you can make if you're over the age of 50, for a total of $7,000. Any IRAs that are taken out prior to 59 and a half are subject to a penalty. If you are making contributions to your employer's plan and you want to make contributions to an IRA, they may be limited as to how much you can contribute for that year, depending on your income and the money you're putting into your employer's plan. We have some blogs out on our website that will discuss this in further detail, so feel free to go check those out at megwealth.com. If you have any questions regarding anything, I'd be more than happy to help you. You can give us a call at the office. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thanks, Rick, for your Money Minute. Again, if you'd like to contact the Make Wealth team, visit their website, makewealth.com.
Now for our quote of the day. The truth of your character is expressed through the choice of your actions. Unknown.
Thanks, Faith, for the inspirational quote of the day. Now it's time for the jokes of the week. All right, Faith, I got some good ones for you this week. Why aren't koala actual bears? Because they don't meet the qualifications. Okay, calm down. Just a joke.
Okay. What breed of dog can jump higher than buildings?
I don't know.
Any dog, because buildings can't jump.
First one gets a boo. Oh, Alright, Faith. Why did the nurse need a red pen at work? In case she had to draw blood. That's a good one. Come on.
Why did it get so hot in the baseball stadium after the game? Because all the fans left.
Doesn't get any better than this, folks. This is it right here.
Now for a Paynesville Area Chamber of Commerce member spotlight.
Dairyland Peach is a weekly publication providing information and advertising in Sauk Centre, Minnesota, and its surrounding areas, bringing their readers news and in-depth stories from around central Minnesota. If you'd like to contact the Dairyland Peach, give them a call at 320-352-6569 or visit their website at hometownsource.com. Located in Albany, Minnesota, Chasm Radio keeps Central Minnesota entertained and updated. They provide local egg news, weather, sports, coupons, and old-time music for their listeners to enjoy. Chasm Radio also provides daily market updates to keep farmers in Central Minnesota up to date with today's livestock market. To view their full on-air schedule, visit mychasm.com or listen live on 107.7 FM or 1150 AM. Chasm Radio, your dependable neighbor.
Alright, now it's time to answer the trivia question for today's episode. The question was, who holds the record for the most receiving yards in one Paynesville football game? For viewers at home, we had some answers. We had Danielle Dickhausen answering C, and we had our listener, Dean Heike, answering B. Well, unfortunately, none of you are correct. The correct answer is D, Levi Bass, with a total of 191 yards in one Paynesville football game. Game was against Montevideo in 2019. Thank you for answering our trivia question. We'll be back next week with some more trivia. Before we go, we want to let you know about some upcoming changes to our Talk of Paynesville program. Thanks to our generous sponsors, we'll be continuing with the fall broadcast season. Our fall season will begin on September 14th and will be streaming live on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. We are making the move to the evening time slot to allow more interaction with our viewers at home. We'll be streaming live twice a month, and you can find our full schedule at paynesvillece.com.
Thanks everyone for watching. Please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and like our broadcast. Also, don't forget to enter your interview ideas in the comment section below. See you again next week, August 27th at 9 a.m. for our final Thursday morning live broadcast. I'm Faith Dickhausen.
And I'm Jay Bertram. Stay safe.
And stay cool, Paynesville.
This program is made possible through the support of our generous sponsors. The Talk of Paynesville, a Paynesville Area Community Education production in association with the Paynesville Area Chamber of Commerce.